Right, it's 7 o'clock, formally open the meeting. If you can go to the first item, which is questions from the public. We have two. I will take them in the order that they come in. First one is Christine or Peter Jones.
I'm trying to get in the road. Can I stand there?
Yeah, the microphone will help.
We have the technology.
Where is it?
Nobody knows how to use it.
Have you left it at home?
Hello, I'm Christine Jones. I'm with
May
my
I just
husband.
interrupt, sorry? It's being filmed. If you don't wish to be on
that's
the
fine.
camera. Okay.
What it is, we're landlords in the local area. We have 5 properties on Scarsdale Street. And I contacted Alistair a couple of weeks ago regarding selective licensing, and he tells me he was unaware of it. This has been going on for about 2 years now. Rotherham Borough Council are wanting to bring licensing in for landlords. A lot of the points that they've got on there are quite valid. Gas certificates, keeping your properties in good order, things, but there's a lot of other stuff. And what it boils down to is the fact that if this licensing comes in, it's going to be regarded, Dinnington is going to be regarded as a high ASBO area, which is going to affect us all, with our car insurance, our house insurance, the prices of our properties. The landlords at the moment have got to apply for a licence by the 1st of May. They want to charge us £625 per property for a 5-year licence. They do say that they will come out and check the properties. I can't see that happening. They haven't got the staff. And it's just a general view I'd like for the parish council to see. The Rotherham Landlords Association with other national landlords have got together in the Rotherham area. We've all donated money into a fund. We want £50,000 to go to judicial review. That's going ahead at the moment. We've got a solicitor in Manchester that's taking that forward. But while Rotherham are under special measures, we just wondered whether there was anything that you could do to put a little bit of pressure on them and put your points of view forward. I don't know if you've had a chance to have a look on the internet of all the conditions. There's 50 conditions in all. One of them is that we have to make, which is one of the extreme ones, is that we have to make sure our tenants know when the wheelie bin day is and make sure they've got one. Well, recently we had a change of tenant and the bin had gone. I had to get the crime number to get that bin replaced, which obviously goes on the records as a crime. It puts the crimes up in the area.
It's a statement, I think, but as we've only got 2 questions, I'm happy to go on.
Am I going on a little bit too long?
Well, just a short more time, because if you want us to discuss.
As I say, it's just, there's nothing that I don't think that you can do, as I say, it's gone on things. We've got to apply for the licence by the 1st of May. If we don't, we will be fined. But as I say, it's your views on the effects that it's going to have in this area, which aren't going to be good.
I'll put your points to members if they wish to discuss. As I say, the most we can probably do is write a letter with the views of the council.
I mean, there's all the 50 conditions that we've got to...
I've seen it. I went to, when the initial consultation took place, I went to
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you're addressing questions to the clerk. It's actually members that you need to be talking to. So, members, if anyone wishes to comment, it's not for decision, it's only for comments.
Thank you.
Soon as you're speaking for the private landlords,
Sorry?
you've had the opportunity to bring in a voluntary code, and you've not done that. So how do you propose, if supposing Rotherham decides not to go ahead with this licensing, and or you with your court case, you know, with your 55,000 quid that you've got in your pocket that you can't be bothered to spend on a licence, how do you propose to deal with bad landlords and landlords that won't do the repairs? How do you
They've got
propose
the
to deal
powers
with
now
it?
to do that.
They have got the powers now. Environmental Health have got the powers to make anybody do repairs. The trouble is, I think the attitude that a lot of people have is that they class every landlord as a bad landlord. And this is what is coming through from the council in Rotherham. We were offered to have a voluntary scheme, but that was thrown out by Rotherham Council. They were not prepared to have that, and that's why they fetched the licensing in. And places where licensing has been fetched in, house prices have dropped. Not just where the houses are for licensing, but the whole area, and that is fact. And all household insurances have gone up because that area is now deemed as an ASBO area.
The problem is Rotherham.
Why do you think Rotherham's bringing it in then?
Why don't they're doing it as a cash cow to raise money?
Okay. Does any other members have any other comments on that?
What I've got back on board, because I do know some of them with electric and dampness and everything, not get the repairs done.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
It's the good landlord what's suffering.
yeah, as in life, we only hear the bad side of landlords, and in Dinnington we do hear some shocking stories about some of the properties. Personally, I believe that there's a lot of good in it, but there may be some things, as you've said, which are going over the top, but it did go to
Can I
consultation.
give you one example? Is we had a tenant a few years ago which we evicted, and if the council were going to support the landlords in other ways, we had a tenant that we needed to evict. She'd been to prison for racial abuse. It took us 5 months to evict her. 3 weeks before the bailiffs were going to go in, she moved out into another property on the same street, which was given to her by another landlord.
We're not discussing individual
Yeah,
cases.
can I just finish, please?
No, you can't.
If the council were going to support us by saying, you know, they told us in this that if they advise us to get rid of a tenant, that we've got to do it. This tenant was totally disruptive. She moved from the top of the street to the bottom of the street. So, where's the support there from the council? I rang the council up at the time and said, could you tell me whether she's moved out, because her benefit was paid direct to us. They couldn't tell me. You have to go to your tenant and ask her. Obviously, she wasn't going to tell me. She was claiming benefit for 3 weeks at another property. We were not allowed to go in that property until the bailiff turned up. And then we were told that she was now giving us permission to change the locks.
Now, you must forgive me
that's
now.
the one example.
Yeah, I've given you quite a lot of time, and there has been some discussion. But if there is nothing else that anyone wants to bring in, oh, right?
All we can do is ask the Borough Council that they know what to do with all the ramifications before they bring this up.
Right. Okay. If there's nothing else, I'd like to move on to the second question, which is Stuart Wilkes.
Yeah.
If you can stand and read the question, please.
Yeah, I've just recently moved on to Victoria Street, April last year. And since I've moved on, I've been constantly getting burgled, and my neighbours has as well. The recent one we've had is 2 o'clock yesterday, this morning. It's been burgled again. Constantly just getting stuff getting stolen off our gardens. We had a car stolen on the back of our garden. That got smashed and broken into. We're just constantly just getting attacked all the time. It's only our side of the street is getting attacked. The other side's not, because they've got they've got all these fencing around and gates up. They're not even using them. Well, why can't we our side have them as well?
Right, okay. It's not a get out, but as a town council, we're not responsible for the security of the streets. We can write letters to various bodies with council's permission to try and sort it out for you. Does anybody got Councillor Smith?
Well, it doesn't help, does it, when, like tonight again, street lights are turned off. You know, we've got Victoria Street in total darkness.
Yeah.
The whole street?
All the street lights get turned off.
On purpose?
Yeah, yeah. They take it street by street. We have this on a regular basis. The whole street's turned off. The whole lights are turned off. So, like you're saying, you know, I mean, I live on Victoria Street.
Yeah.
The last time they were off for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to bring it up tonight. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You know, that's not helping us. If you've got the whole street in total darkness. And on Back Street, you know, where it goes on to where flats and shops are, there aren't any street lights on there anyway, so that's always in total darkness along there. So, you know, it's just, that's not helping in any shape or form. It's making it worse, in fact.
Why are they doing it wrong?
Because it's supposed to be, my street is supposed to be saving money. I don't know, but we get it on this has been going on at Victoria Street for about 2 or 3 years.
I suggest we should write to seek clarification on it, because I wasn't aware.
Well, what I got told, 2 years ago, when I contacted the government, I was told they were going to do it on a street-by-street basis, but all it seems to be Victoria Street cops for it every time.
Is it just that street that's been turned up?
Yeah, the whole street, yeah. I mean, it's happened to us. It's been, we've had a situation where they've been turned off for 3 weeks at a time. But it's not by accident, because it's not an on-street light. It's the whole street. If you were there now, it's pitch black, isn't it?
Yeah. There's one light on top of the road, and that's it.
Yeah,
All the way down, it's complete darkness.
Councillor Davis?
There's a correlation between crime and the lights being switched off, so surely we can put a case in the lights being switched off on the phone places and not being switched off. I think there was a study a couple of years ago, and then they determined that it caused an up in price. So why turn Victoria?
So
I think we should really strongly word a letter saying.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I just think same as I say, only going on what Paula said, we should send a letter and find out why it's just Victoria Street, and is it a thing that's going to happen all the time?
Seek clarification as
Yeah,
to
why
it's
just
changed, why it's
Victoria
changed.
Street?
Can I just ask a question of you? Did you actually report all these crimes?
Yeah.
There was a running log of
Yeah, there is, yeah.
everything that's happened.
It's constantly.
And all your neighbours have as well?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Members okay to
Yeah.
strongly word the letter? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right, that is... yes, sir.
Asking them to go to Florida to certainly see where they go. And what the plan is, and when. Did we have
I mean, if it's fair, it would only be minor roads, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be bus routes, things like that, I would presume, but it does seem unfair.
I've never seen any of them. No,
Right,
I'm not saying we turn it off, I'll just
right.
and that only now.
We'll seek for more clarification. Any more? Right, that concludes the public part of the meeting. We'll move now on to the formal part of the meeting. First part is for note of apologies for absence.
I'm just sorry to interrupt you. You know, this business of where we have to ask if people, members of the public, want to, are allowed to speak. Can't we take a vote now and say that we give you that you use your discretion on whether or not you allow people from the public to speak?
I don't know if I
I don't see why we can't.
I definitely know from the notes from YLCA that we have to take a vote whenever somebody from the public wants to take part in the formal part of the meeting, and I don't know if we can do that. We can seek clarification for the next meeting.
I mean, it would make it easier for you, it would make it easier for us, because it always seems to be a bit of a messing around.
It would, but I would need to seek clarification as to whether we can. Yeah, but I wouldn't want to just do it and...
No, I appreciate that, but I just thought
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, we can certainly look at that. Apologies for absence.
Councillor Jepson and Havenham.
No other apologies. Show of hands to accept those apologies. I believe there is 2 reasons, yeah. Personal reasons.
It's the 4th meeting of Council of Val business, you know. I mean, are they to the one of the council, or are they backing off from it?
No idea. Did you want to object to that one?
Yeah.
Right, next item is to consider any matters determined urgent by the Chair. I want to bring on into 4615L, which is at the end, and it's for members to receive the decision by the Assets Committee, 3DSLA. Okay? Next item is to consider any matters which should be dealt with in open or confidential session. I believe that item where we're going to discuss the clerk's qualifications, 4615D, needs to go into closed session. Members agree? No. Any other items? No. Right, if we can move on to approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 9th of February this year. Page 1. Page 2.
We've got it where it actually says in the minutes that I've actually proposed that the money wasn't given today, and that Councillor Scott seconded it. It's actually the other way around.
Well, good.
Oh, sorry, that was something.
It's fine.
I'm joking around.
Right, well, if we can move on from page 2 to page 3.
On page 3, Chair, at the bottom, it says that I propose that the Board of Councillors give a report to the meeting, and there will be an agenda item. It says in the minutes, it says, vote unanimously in favour, action clerk to add as agenda item for future meetings and contact all Board of Councillors. It's not on this agenda, is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, under
Matters.
And then Councillor being contacted.
Be contacted. Page 4. Page 5. page 6.
No, you give it that.
Yeah.
Also, the can't have been at 8 abstentions because where they is
Sorry, Councillor Scott.
It says that there are 8 abstentions when there wasn't because there were 8 councillors here for that. You've got 3 that had apologised, you've got 1 that had resigned, Councillor Tweed had left before that decision, and you'd already got Councillor Falvey that didn't even apologise.
For
For the vote. You know,
yeah. I think basically you're saying that the amount of abstentions wasn't 8. We need to look back more closely at it. No.
like I say, you've got 3 apologies for that evening,
Yeah.
plus 1 had resigned, that's 4. Councillor Tweed had left early, that's 5. And Councillor Falvey never even apologised, so that's 6.
And we had 3 votes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look more closely into it and make the correction.
Right, just on the same subject, there was no abstentions, as you say, it was abandoned in the middle. It should have gone on to a vote, which it never did, so nobody could abstain or vote for it. I think it ended with 3 votes against, and then it got back, which that shouldn't have happened. And all I didn't abstain.
I didn't abstain.
And I want that recording as I didn't abstain.
Right.
I would like to vote is that I did not abstain. I was vote yes.
Right, we'll need to look further into it to see if that wasn't.
Well, forgive me, but I could, we had 3 votes for the proposal, and it went through. Can you?
It is a no vote.
Would you like to tell me how it went
It
through?
didn't go through, David.
It's a no vote.
The simple reason the votes were never carried through. It was abandoned in the middle. That never happened.
We were in a situation.
We were in a situation.
We were in a situation.
Yeah, you vote for or you vote against.
Forgive me, but
No, you did not. You wanted.
please, this is not for discussion. This is purely for accuracy. If it's not accurate, we will go and look further into it and see. But looking at the minutes, it is not a discussion item. So, with those corrections that we need to do,
Can I just say, Chair, you're in a position here where we're saying then that we actually proposed and seconded the resolution. It got passed, it went through. Now we're being told that it didn't go through because the thing was abandoned. Now that's ridiculous. To actually say
It
that.
was choreographed, so we had to vote one way.
I will seek clarification, but as I say, the minutes are not for discussion. It's at the point that we just don't discuss the minutes. They are there for, are they accurate or not? I apologise.
They said it's not accurate, but how could it not be accurate? How could it go through if you didn't abstain or vote against? You didn't record a vote. You did not record a vote against.
All I want is my
One of your Dinnington
recording that I have not
comments.
abstained.
We've only got to look
Then
at
we'll
the
make
thing.
that. Right, so we've got to the bottom of page 6 of the minutes. Will somebody move those with the corrections as a true record? Seconder? And a vote, please. Hands? As a true record? With the amendments. Right, next item is for declarations of interest. Councillor Scott?
45B, 15B.
45B was when yes, of course.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
booking concessions.
Yeah. Any other declarations? No. Right, consider any matters raised in public session. Any matters? No. Next item is to consider approval of the following planning applications. You've got details there. First one is for non-material amendment to conditions imposed by application for bargain booths on Lord's Hill. Any members have any comments about it?
It's already been done.
I know.
I don't get my application.
But we've got the consultation date to the 10th, so any comments? No? Move on to the second item, which is the demolition of the garage, and rear porch, and erection of 2 stories and single-storey rear extension on a house on Swinstons Hill. Again, information's there. Does the members have any comments on that item? No, nothing has been received on that. Okay, so we'll move on from planning to booking concessions and donations. First item, to consider a request to contribute to the Easter egg extravaganza for the Mayor's charity. Information I can give you is that last year we kindly gave £10 towards it. Members have any suggestions?
It was a £10 Easter egg.
Yeah. Proposed £10?
Yes.
Second?
I'll second that.
Show of hands, who supported it? Thank you. Next item is to consider a booking concession request from Councillor Scott for an event to raise funds for Dinnington Carnival. Councillor Scott. I think pretty much that probably helps you a little. Members have agreement for the concession for charity event for funds for the carnival.
I'm proposing these.
I think he's accepted that me reading it out is good enough. Yeah. Second for proposal to allow it? Show of hands? Thank you. And the third one is to consider a request from Rotherham Holiday Aid. Excuse me. Information I can give you, you've got the information in the pack. Last year we donated £100 and we did get confirmation that Dinnington families do benefit from it. Proposal for £100. Seconder. Show of hands. Thank you very much. Right, we'll move into section 46.15, members' consideration and decisions. First item, to approve purchase of remote access software to enable home working. Verbal from Clark.
Yeah, what this is, basically, as you know, the lyric is due to close for 3 months. At this stage, we do not know yet whether we're going to get access to the office. If we get access to the office on a, say, weekly basis, we will still be able to use the computer, and therefore this will not be necessary. So all I'm seeking at the moment is approval in case of, because if we need to purchase it, it will be in the next 2 weeks. Remote access software will enable myself and Cal and the accountant to remotely log into one computer, both now and in the future should we ever need to work from home. It isn't cheap. Research has been done, it's circa £500. That's why I'm hoping we will be able to avoid that cost. But it's purely to get approval at this stage and no other cheap alternative to go to the market and purchase it. It has been budgeted for by the accountant, the figures for this year just in case. So the money is there, but hopefully, like I say, we will not need it.
I think actually if it's needed, eventually, I think I'll still go ahead and get it.
well, it's only, it may be needed more than
It's,
additional.
you can't run council without, so
Yep.
we will need it eventually.
Graham?
Is it any use to us, again, Alistair?
Oh, yeah. If we, and as you know, previous clerks have worked from home. Yeah, and it's something that could be used forever. If it provided greater flexibility of working for anyone really, then yes, absolutely, it could be used.
Okay. See, Mr. Milner seeks to speak on this subject. I do know he does know quite a bit about this, so members vote to allow. Thank you.
Yeah, have we looked at open source alternatives?
We research like cloud, things like that, or
No, there's, if you look at things like LogMeIn, which are proprietary, there's alternatives to LogMeIn that are open source. I mean, I don't see an agenda, otherwise I'd have looked further.
right. I'll be honest, I'm a little bit vague on where you're coming from. With you saying open source, it immediately...
Open source is it's free, as in free beer.
Yeah, does it give security?
Yes, a lot of it's secure. Usually users signs in using HTTPS.
So we speak at some other points on this one, because you might have information that will be of use for us.
Yeah.
But very much.
Yes, this is something I do know
I have a
about.
feeling that you might have good suggestions, so is that okay for you to...
Yeah, that's not a problem at all.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. Bearing in mind that, can we have a decision whether we go ahead? So, proposed and seconded, just in case, but it may be cheaper, hopefully. Show of hands to approve that? Thank you. Item B is to approve a separate finance meeting in April to approve invoices, etc. As you know, it's the annual parish meeting, so before that we need to have a meeting to approve for cheques, get wages paid and things like that. Now, obviously, the Lyric's going to be closed then, so we've looked at alternatives. We did try for Davies Court in the afternoon, but that's booked. And we are using Davies Court, I think, for the annual.
For the parish meeting, yeah.
Alternatives we've got are that if it is Davies Court, we can do it on Tuesday or Thursday, or if you wish, which I think is more viable, we can still keep to the Monday afternoon before the annual parish, and we can use the Middleton Hall at what time are we talking?
Talking 2 p.m.
About 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. So there's some options there for you. It's what do you want to do? Oh, it's the 13th of April. It's when the normal council meeting would take place, but we're going to do the finance in the afternoon, and it gives us time for the parish in the evening. To which two? Go for the Middleton? We'll keep it on the same day on Monday then. Okay. All members in agreement that we take that? Okay. 2 o'clock. Information will come out to you. Okay. Item C is to approve change of date to the scheduled meeting in May, which is actually the annual town meeting. If I can bring Clark in again, he can explain exactly why. It's all about time.
It is the scheduled date of the 11th of May is actually a day too soon, given the date of the election. New councillors cannot take office until the 12th of May. That's what we've been advised by the YLCA. Given that information, I request that we move the scheduled 11th of May meeting, and if we stick to our regular weekday of a Monday, that would mean delaying it by 1 week to the 18th of May. Davies Court has provisionally been booked and is available for that. It's whether you're in agreement with Monday the 18th of May or whether you wish to pick an additional day on from the 12th of May onwards.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to just bear in mind is, of course, the timing of the release of papers for that meeting, because we obviously won't know the councillor until after the election. The normal 7 days for standing orders. may have to be suspended. It can be shorter than 7 days, but it will be within the 3 days required by law anyway. And the 18th of May will enable us to give not only the 3 days required by law, but a couple of extra days to give you time to prepare for that particular meeting.
Okay, second. Show of hands, in agreement for that date? Thank you very much. Item D is the one that we've moved into closed session. E is to agree updated standing orders. You've received standing orders and the amendments have been highlighted. I think it's essentially, it's tweaks more than anything. Clark, yeah?
Yeah, exactly as the Chair said, it is just tweaks, and they are purely my suggestions based on what I've seen in my evidence as being this particular Chair, looking at one or two other town councils standing on the campaign with the NAM model standing orders as well. So they are only minor, however, for you to either approve or otherwise, and if you've got any suggestions of your own that you would like to bring in, then obviously now process the time.
Show of hands for approval. Similar one again, to agree updated communications. Now takes into account the new legislation. And again, Clark?
Yeah, same as before, minor tweaks, bringing in line with other things I've been able to find and of course my thoughts. Yeah, purely just my suggestion. If anybody's got anything that they violently disagree with or wish to help, please let us know.
Show of hands for approval for changes. Thank you. Next item, to update members on Lyric Roof Repair Contract Award. Again, verbal by Clark.
Excuse me, yes. We finally got through the report from Rotherham Borough Council with regards to the tender process for the roof repair project. Took a few days longer than was expected, basically because the winning quote, as it turned out to be, the winning quote was significantly below the others, so they had to go back and check and make sure that everything was accounted for that should be in that tender, and we weren't missing anything significant. The long and short of it was the winning tender was submitted by a company called Dawson Roofing Services. And the total amount, including contingencies, project fees and some legal charges, is 95,577, which is significantly below the 110 we budgeted for. Those figures are excluding VAT.
Do you have any questions?
And sorry, just to add, the project is scheduled to start on time, 1st of April. We've yet to have an initial meeting with the contractor because we came through late last week.
Hoping it's going to be slightly shorter than the 12 weeks we originally put out.
Do we have to pay?
That is a process that we are still waiting a final answer from in consultation with YLCA and HMRC. The accountant is looking into whether or not it would be better for us, as far as the Lyric is concerned, to go to VAT registration. Because as things stand, the VAT would cost us in the region of £19,000, which if we, because we're not currently VAT registered, we would have to pay that. If we became VAT registered, we still have to pay VAT, but we start claiming back on a lot of things, and therefore we could claim that £19,000 back, and it would take us years before it would balance off. So he thinks it's a much better move to do that. To go to change our VAT status, but we still await a final answer as to whether or not we can do that.
Are we paying in interim payments, or are they getting the payment when the job's done?
I believe there's stage payments, but the final details we've yet to see the details of the contract. It's only the report we've got.
It won't be paid up front.
No, it certainly won't. And there's always a big project like this, there's always an element that's held back for about 12 months after project completion. Snagging and things like that.
Part of the original agreement was that RNBC would receive the invoices will be directly to us. I've acting as project managers, they will monitor those invoices to make sure that the work's actually being done and passed before that is then given to us to pay.
I was going to add what is kind of clarifying that the actual kind of the activities.
Don't.
They are approved contractors from RMBC. The only ever issue tends to approve contractors who they've worked with in the UK before.
So what we need from you as members is approval to go ahead, and also to allow the finance officer and accountant to look more closely into the side of things. Show of hands for approval. Do we need a proposal for approval? We'll do it because it's important. Can we have a proposal to accept?
Proposal to accept.
And seconded, and so show of hands. Thank you. Next item to discuss a proposal for local support group. Verbal was going to be given by Councillor Chapman, who's not here, so I'm not aware of what he wanted to talk about, so we'll have to move on.
I actually thought anything was being available by the council every year to discuss it.
That's what I'm saying. You can't, we'll have to move on. Next item to review and approve the annual risk assessment. Have you all read it?
Another riveting meeting.
I did read it. Wow. Yeah.
These kind of forms, though, just in case I'm not teaching anybody to suck eggs here, they are very important because ultimately the council is responsible. Even though I will take care of it on a day-to-day basis, and you have to, trust me on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It is by and large in line with what's been done before, with a few minor tweaks, again for myself, based on my own knowledge in this area. This form that you see in front of you is really for the auditor, not for a health and safety inspection. It's for the financial auditor.
So we just need a show of hands to agree the risk assessment. Next one is to, decide an alternative location for the lyric defibrillator. I'll bring Clark in again because he knows more about it.
Yeah, very simply where we wanted it, top end of the corridor just outside there isn't room. It's bigger than we thought. So it sticks out about 12 inches from the wall, so you can't open the doors sufficiently to allow safe access and egress from the building, and as there is no other wall space available other than next to the door, we have to find an alternative location.
That's what I think.
That's what I would
That's a good suggestion.
Because it's covered by CCTV as well, and these cabinets are, I quote, tamper-proof. Otherwise, it would take significant time from CCTV.
It's a highly visible area. So we've had a proposal to Tom Constable Lane.
Is there anywhere where we can put a note on the street itself, to say where?
We will get notices suitably displayed.
Once it's up, I think we'll try a bit of an advertising campaign as well. So proposal to put it on to Constable Lane. Seconder? Yeah. Show of hands? Thank you. No, we'll give the update to the other one at the running far, I think. Just because we've got an update on the other one, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Next item is to discuss whether to call for all borough councillors to resign with immediate effect in light of the Casey report. Verbal, Councillor Smith?
Yeah, I mean, as you can see now, I'm fairly lonely on this side of the table with, we haven't got borough councillors here, we haven't got all these that were all involved. As Casey says and Jay says, these councillors were involved with CSE, with this case of the CSE in Rotherham, because they were privy to information to all this. Councillor Abraham was a senior advisor to Sean and I for 5 years. Councillor Tweed, he was for 2 years, he was an advisor to Sean Wright. Sean Wright had to go. These lot have stayed on. And the case report says that the Rotherham Borough Council is not fit for purpose. So if Rotherham Borough Council is not fit for purpose, it's time that they all resign. They should have all resigned straight away as far as I'm concerned. But they should resign if they've got any moral backbone. But it would seem that what they're doing is they're hanging on for grim death to get the last vestiges of the money that we pay them. We've already got Councillor Abraham stating that she'll stand down in May. Well, she should have gone straight away as soon as J report came out. Councillor Tweed, he's going to hang on till next year. And as far as I'm concerned, we as a council should be demanding that all borough councillors resign, all borough councillors stand for re-election. It's the only moral stance that anybody can take. So that's why I've put it on the agenda for tonight.
Any comments on that item?
Personally, I think it's up to individual councillors whether they resign or not. There's elections coming up soon. Then it's in the hands of the people in Dinnington, not just a few here to make their own decisions. I don't like to set myself up as a judge and jury. That's my opinion.
Pauline?
As David said, I can
Excuse me, could you use the mic, please?
Oh, dear.
This is very important and I would like it on the recorder and I would like to hear.
I'll try and shout then. As I'm saying, I can understand where David's coming from, but if the government itself, what's done the report, hasn't made them resign, I don't see what we can do about it.
As I've said before, called non-record the county for the police to resign. Police.
Okay.
Well, I mean, surely it begs the question, why have we got councillors that it's obvious from J report, from Casey report, it's obvious that these councillors help to cover up these CSE and Rotherham. And it's strange that they happen to be standing. It's strange that they happen to be standing down in May.
I think
so. There's
don't
last
speculate.
Wednesday,
It's important
I'm
not
not
to speculate.
speculating.
Help to
I
cover
can
up.
prove, I can prove what I'm saying.
Right. It sounds
If
like
anybody wants to take
speculation.
me on it, I can
No,
prove what I'm
no
saying.
one wants to take you on. I'm just
Oh,
advising be careful of speculation.
You're all right, I can prove what I'm saying. The other thing, when you look at it like this as well, is that last Wednesday was the last council meeting until May. So we've got borough councillors in Dinnington and all over Rotherham where they're going to stand down in May, but there's no council meetings. They can't even be bothered to turn up for the town council meeting. So they should all go.
How much are they getting in wages, Dave?
Please be quiet.
They obviously don't have any real morals, or they would have stood down already.
How much are they getting in wages, Dave? No, I won't.
You know very well that you're a stranger and you don't take part in the meeting.
You don't like to hear the truth.
The Dinnington meeting.
Tell us how much they're getting in wages for doing nothing then. 17,000, wonderful.
Right.
And this lot think they should stay.
I'm moving on to the last item in this section, which is the emergency item brought in, which is the Assets Committee decision to
Is that
renew
the extent of the
contract
discussion?
with the SLA for a further
Should be
12
ashamed.
months. Comments? Any comments on that? No? Okay, it's just a show of hands just to approve that decision. Thank you very much. Right, if we can move now on to 47, which is Park Avenue Cemetery, Lyric Theatre and allotments. One item you've got in your packs in front of you to approve a quote for replacement of hose pipes at the cemetery. Again, if I may bring Clark in just to give you a bit of background on it.
Excuse me, yeah, there's about 100 metre of buried hose pipe stretching between the admin building and just outside the garage compound area, which currently has several leaks and has been in need of replacement for a little while. As that whole area is being built as we speak to provide fencing for to properly fence in the compound, it makes sense to try and replace the hose piping at the same time. The quote is purely for materials. The maintenance team will help out with the digging and any labour to keep the costs down, so there's no additional cost other than the items that are required to replace the hose pipe. Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Any other comments on it? Have a show of hands to accept.
Can I just make some thinking? Over £200, we should get more than one quote as well. Sorry.
Okay, so just show of hands again, just before. Yep. Okay, into section 48.15, which is a monthly account schedule and relevant budget update information. Item A is to approve the monthly accounts for February 2015, and you have the accounts there.
Yes. The breaking fees, I'm pleased to report, come down £20 on this year's fees, really effect. We're now in line with what other councils in the area pay.
Any other?
I'm back to that thorn in my finger, that them feeder pillars.
Yeah.
I've got them on here again.
Yep.
Now, I'm fed to see them every month, these, I'll tell you.
Yep.
I think we should sort it out. They've given us a refund. We had a refund 1 month, and then they charged us for them. And every month since then, we've got charges for them. There's no power going to, what power we're using out of them feeder
If I
pillars?
may bring the finance officer in.
If you look at those feeder pillars, the dates there, they cover the Christmas period when we have lights on, so that's where a lot of the charges are coming from. As far as the issue with Empower in particular overall is concerned, in the last 2 weeks we have been contacted strangely proactively by Empower because the guy we were dealing with before, I don't know, but reading between the lines it looks like they are backtracking over some of the work that he was supposed to have done but didn't. This individual is a lot more proactive, seems a lot more switched on, and we're progressing things with him. However, everything's put up because the previous guy was. So the whole issue we are fully aware of. We're not more confident this time that we'll get somewhere with it. Alongside that, in the background, the accountant is still pursuing other potential suppliers for comparison purposes and see where we end up. So yeah, the point is noted and made and fully supported by
Councillor Scott.
The new sign on Crossing Market Square.
Yeah.
292 quid plus that.
Yeah.
Seems a lot.
It was a lot. It's partly down to the printing that was involved, but a lot down to the piece of protective, I don't think it's glass, but it's a heavy piece of whatever it is, to try and keep it as tamper-proof as possible. And that's what the book of the costs were.
Right.
packs, just any packs that are on the table tonight, it works out as about one each. It's not on the agenda, but there is an updated budget statement for this year for you to take away and consider. In a nutshell, we're on target to balance. Expenses have been higher than forecast this year, but luckily the cemetery has also been higher to balance it off.
So you've got that report there. Next item is to receive the final budget for 2015-16. Again, bring the finance officer in on it.
Yes, it's pretty much as was agreed at the preset meeting. There might be a couple of very, very minor tweaks to that, simply just to bring it to land with the final figure we receive tomorrow. But it is as proposed at the preset meeting, so this really is just your final copy to refer back to over the coming financial year.
Did you receive that? Propose to receive? And second? Show of hands. Thank you. Item C, to agree updated financial regulations. Again, you've got them in the pack. It's a necessary thing that we have to do every year. Do you need to mention anything about it?
No, again, as before, it's minor considerations in line with others. The only ones I will bring to your attention that may seem at all significant are the sub-paragraphs relating to if we get a business debit or credit card. We haven't got one yet. There have been 2 or 3 occasions where the only way we could purchase something on behalf of the council was to use my personal credit card, which isn't the way it should be done. I don't mind, but it shouldn't be done that way. And really, it's just to cover the council if we do go down that route of getting a card. We don't have one yet, but we will look at that further in the future.
That's taken up within regulations.
Yeah, it's a standard clause in the financial regulations anyway.
Okay, so agree to accept. Agree annual town council insurance renewal. Sorry, apologies. To agree updated internal control review. Again, information is there. It's another one that just needs to be accepted.
The statement again is largely similar to last year. Again, it's for the auditors, for the external auditors, should I say. And it gives them a statement of what we do to make sure that we control what goes in the house, the council coffers.
Show of hands to agree. Thank you. Item E is to agree the annual town council insurance renewal. Again, verbal by the clerk.
I was hoping to have comparable quotes with you tonight. Unfortunately, I haven't, because a rival insurance company who is very keen to get our business has not yet had the time to come up with the quote, simply because their assessors wish to consider further our insurance claim that is still going through this year, which makes it 2 claims inside in just over 12 months. So then until they can produce a quote, we haven't got anything to compare with. The insurance policy is due to run out at the end of this month. Last year, the council resolved to defer the decision to the chair and the clerk to decide which cover to go with. And I am requesting that the council again makes that decision. The quotes we have at the moment, the quotes I have showed them with our current insurance provider, which is Zurich. They are quoted 7,700 for a 1-year arrangement, just short of 7,300 for a 3-year arrangement, or 6,800 if we went for a 5-year agreement. So you can see it's cheaper the longer we agree to go. Obviously that's in their favour. So if it works out best that Zurich is the one we remain with, again I'm looking for your thoughts on whether we go for a 1, 3 or 5-year agreement.
Comments?
I think we should go for 1 year and keep trying every year, me personally.
What was the...
Because circumstances could change.
Right, so the difference for extending by each year is about a saving of £900. Well, no, it's But that's the choice you've got.
Over 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the, what, would you have to pay any fee if you want to get out of it early?
Probably.
Yeah. They don't do it for nothing.
Have they, do they know we've got this risk assessor as well, eh?
Yes, they do. Yeah, and that has been taken into account in this.
Has it?
Yes.
And in the new quote and the new firm.
They are aware of it as well. Yeah.
Right.
But we've not had that other quote in, so really it's a case, if you do want to defer it to chair and vice, if the other one comes in better, almost certainly that's the one that we go for. But if it doesn't, it's your decision as well whether you want the 1, 3 or 5 year based on this one.
You've always got to leave it, take it on a short term to try and get another quote or something.
If we get the business out of the way first, the members agreed to defer the decision to chair and vice because we've got to make sure it's in place by the end of the month.
Yeah.
Chair and vice chair. Yeah. There. Members agree? Yeah. Right. So then, if the other quote we're waiting for doesn't come in better, what do you want to do as far as going still with Zurich, and do you want the 1, 3 or 5 year option?
What's the difference in price?
The one is between 1 year and 5 years, £900 a year. Between 1 year and 3 year, it is just over £400 a year.
That's all the money.
You can work against one another though, you know, Brian.
Well, I know you can, but that's
But we've got to as far as we can with Zurich, it's just whatever the new one comes in at. But they really do want the business, so.
I would at least 3 or 5 years, you said £900.
Which proposal?
I'd go for 5 years.
I didn't quite get in that. Did you say £900 over 5?
No, each year.
Each year?
Over 5 years.
Yeah, I thought you said £900 over 5 years. So it's £900 is even only £5.
Yeah, well you've no options over 5 years.
You still
Proposal of 5 years for the second day.
Plus we might not be happy with Zurich after 1 year. So how do we go on then? We're plumbing way in for 5 years.
Yes.
We've had trouble with this before. We're referring back about 2 or 3 years since with insurance companies here. Just saying it's not to do with us. We've had a lot of trouble with insurance companies.
Well, we've had Zurich for years and years and years. Most town councils cancelled it in the country with Zurich. But it's not a disreputable firm.
So it comes into play that report is now.
Correct.
Yeah,
Well,
so it should save as much money as we can.
we've had one proposal and second for going over the 5 year.
Well, I propose we have 1 year.
So amendments that you want the 1 year.
Yeah.
Any seconds for the 1 year? No. So that falls. So we go to the original proposal. Show of hands for 5 years. But that may not,
No.
depending on. We got that right? Yeah. Right, item F, to update members on what the council's capital fund can and cannot be used for. Councillor Smith brought it in, and you have a report there.
Well, the reason I brought this up is because at the last meeting, we were proposed to hand over £10,000 to Jane from the capital fund. I don't understand how, I know I'm new, but I don't understand how this capital fund business works.
Well, no, because
my point I'm making is that
we did seek advice.
everything I've looked at, besides the report of the clocks, I don't think that you can actually do that. It's not about. I mean, we give out grants, you know, but and we have £3,000 to give out grants, but £10,000 is one other chunk of money to come out of Dinnington, and it's coming out of capital funds. So I'm questioning it. Can you actually do that? What says that you can do it?
We sought advice and we got clarification that how it was going to go for the property maintenance of a project, that it could be capitalised, and we didn't just decide that. We did go to governing bodies to say that it could be done, and it was approved. So it's more a case, I think, that you're saying you feel it shouldn't be done, but not that it couldn't have been done.
Well, I don't know. As I say, it just seems, you know, you're saying that you said that you could do it, that it can go to an outside body.
Well, we'll have to look back and get the original information.
It wasn't for maintenance.
Please be quiet.
No, I won't.
I believe, but I will confirm, I think it's under the Miscellaneous Provisions Act that a local authority can, by way of a grant or loan, give to a voluntary organisation or some community fund for capital expenditure. But I will clarify that is the case.
But what actually, I mean, this thing with Jay, I mean, what actually was this, you know, the original £10,000, and it was originally given to Jay, that's when they had this building down the street, isn't it? What was it given to him for? Was it for building work or?
Well, that we'll have to see and look back the exact wording, because it was quite important how it was worded, and I can't just tell you off the top of my head what it was. But we will supply that information, because it was important that it was done in the correct way, and it was approved.
I'll email all members as soon as I get the exact quote.
Yeah. Sorry, my attention was taken over there. Does anybody want to comment on that? No?
I thought it could only be used for an actual building project.
Well, as
capital can be used for major renovations as well. Essentially, it's something that's going to give.
Actually, the letter from Jane, which was in the last council meeting, did say that they've already secured the building.
Irrelevant to that letter.
So what I'm saying is that this is where David might be a little bit useful, that you can give it to me for one thing, obviously that letter cancels all that out.
Well, we'll get the clarification to exactly what it was awarded on.
But if you remember, we were in a situation where, when we were discussing the precept, where there's this work to be done at cemetery, and we were told that that could come out of capital fund district. So, you know, it's a kind of juxtaposition for me, because I just don't understand how we can actually say the work that's going to be done at cemetery is building work. It makes things better for Dinnington because it improves cemetery, and makes cemetery safe because of walls, etc. So we can't do that out of capital. That have to come direct out of.
Those cemetery works in the precepts, they are essentially repairs and maintenance to something that already exists. It's damaged or it's kind of in danger. In case the wall is in danger of falling down.
Sorry to interrupt, but isn't that a capital project?
No, it's because it's not a significant improvement to what's already there, which is basically putting right what already exists. If you take the theatre here, for example, if we replaced the wall, repair the wall or something like that, it costs us £5,000. You're repairing the wall. But if we spend £150,000 in a major renovation and completely almost stripped it back to the shell and started again, because it's a significant improvement and it would add value as well as significant long-term benefit. It is a little bit of a grey area, but I hope that gives a little bit of clarity.
If there's no more comments, I'll move on. 49.15 is the Town Council grants. Item A, to consider a grant request from Rotherham IYSS Holocaust Memorial Project. I believe we've got Richard?
Yes, would you like to say a few words?
Well, I've just got to seek for members to allow you to speak if you wish, and we can then talk further on it. Obviously, you can give us some information, you can't actually take part in the actual discussion.
No problem.
Do members wish for Richard Banks to give us more information about this request? Show of hands. Please.
Would you like me to use the microphone? Am I okay to talk?
Yeah, it might be easier if you stand. I mean,
yes.
I'd like to just stand. Yeah.
Would you like to use the microphone?
I think your voice is loud enough.
Okay, lovely.
The others don't make any effort.
Please
You
continue.
do.
How long have I got? I'll try and be quick.
Well, tell you what, let's have a look. 5 minutes.
Right, okay. Hello everyone, thank you for taking the time to consider our request. My name's Richard. You probably won't recognise me, I have been here before to a few of these meetings, but not for a few years. I brought my team with me, Jane and Trevor. We're the detached team. We work in the evening in and around Dinnington, on the streets since the youth centre shut, so that's been for about 4 years. We have had the chance to do this project with young people, which is something that I believe in very strongly. I brought you some pictures. I don't know whether you want to. I can pass them around and you can take a look, but I can leave them with you. It's a bit of a low-tech presentation, really. I've been to Poland twice before with projects through the youth service, and this is my third time. And my third time, I have worked with young people from the town centre and all across Rotherham before. And my condition for doing it the third time is that I could bring young people from this area. So we are taking 5 young people from Dinnington and 4 young people from Kimpton, which isn't part of my bid for this money. And we're going to Krakow in Poland, 4 nights, Monday to Friday, on the second week of these holidays, where we will do various projects. We're going to Schindler's Factory Museum, we're having a tour of the Jewish Quarter. We'll go to Auschwitz concentration camp for the day, Camp A and Camp B. We'll visit the salt mines near Krakow, and we're asking for £200, I believe, just to contribute towards that on behalf of the young people. The general story is that because we went last year, we had a bit of an underspend. We don't quite have enough money to go a second time totally. So we are asking young people for a contribution of £50 each. So I should probably, in hindsight, probably should have asked for £250, but I didn't want to get that. So we've worked that out as a £50 contribution each for 3 young people that go to Dinnington Comprehensive School, and £25 each for 2 of the young people that have since graduated from the school and still live and work in the area. Yes, the 5 that we're taking from Dinnington or Dinnington people, yeah. There's 3 at the school and 2 that have since graduated and still living and working.
Yeah. Sorry, can you turn the light off when you can, please? It's dazzling me. If that's possible.
No, I can't.
If you can't do it, thank you very much. David?
Having done this myself, I've actually been to Auschwitz extermination camp and salt mines. It's one of the most moving things I think I've ever actually done in my life. And I think that it's important that youngsters remember the Holocaust, remember what happened. If we don't keep our youngsters informed, then it'll die out, it can die its own death. And I think it's important that they go and experience this. And if you need £250, I propose we give you £250.
I'll second
Wait. We're not going to go to votes just yet.
No, no, that's a 200.
It can only be what they've asked for, unfortunately. one other slight complication, which you can talk about and you can decide whether you want to carry on through. Unfortunately, we've not got up-to-date accounts, which are usually
They're the most up-to-date I have. Yeah, I can explain the financial situation if you like.
Yeah.
It's
members can decide.
Yeah, that's
but I need that information that you've not got up-to-date accounts, which sometimes we
Does it go
specify.
to December, is it, or November?
No, end of November.
End of November. Yeah, because we don't have our own account and we're doing it in partnership with another project from Rotherham. We're taking 16 young people in total. From the Rother Valley South area, we're taking 9 people, which is the 5 young people from Dinnington plus 4 from Kirin. And we're taking 16 in total. Because we don't have a bank account for our small detached team that we're taking young people from, we're using the Partnership and Development team, which is the town centre team's bank account, which isn't run by me. It's a youth service bank account, but it's not run by me. And unfortunately, they were the up-to-date accounts that they were. As far as I know, it's not been used for anything else.
No, it's fine, it's
but
just
that's
consideration, though.
That's the situation.
Before I take the second, any more discussion?
I agree. I've been there myself, and it is moving. In fact, I would never go there. But the soul mines, that's something not to be missed.
And yeah, that's part of. It might be seen as quite a touristy thing to do, but again, it's part of exploring the culture of another town and place. And we obviously aim to do a lot of citizenship work out of it as well, which is why I think it's important to, well, first of all, let you know what we're doing and ask for a contribution, even between Dinnington and Wales, because the young people helped write the funding bid. I jazzed it up a bit, but they helped write it, and one of their issues was even between Dinnington and Wales, the young people in the school and the rivalry, or local, and about bringing together communities and things like that. So it's related to improving their own lives and the community.
Yeah.
Yep.
If we give you £200, does it go into a pot or does it go for the 5 people?
No,
now because you're saying there's 16 people, is the other councils giving? Have the other councils been approached where the other part of the 16 are coming from?
From my point of view, I've applied to Wales Parish Council as well, and that's as far as my job role goes for the 4 young people that still come under our locality but aren't in this area.
Actually, I mean, on their application form, it actually says a contribution towards flights and accommodation for 3 young people from Dinnington High School, year 11, £150. A contribution to flights and accommodation for 2 young people who have recently graduated from Dinnington High School and also live and study in the area, £50. So it's within...
I
understand your concern about it when it's
specifically for Dinnington.
Yeah, but when the young man were talking, it all goes into this, it sounds like it goes into this 16-man team.
Yeah.
Because they're not handling the finances for the 5 people.
But the 5 people are going, I'm
Five people are going,
yeah.
The reason we've asked for £50 each is, well, the trip itself is roughly costing 10 times that for each young person. But we asked for a £50 contribution, and it's simply just a case of covering the contribution that we've asked for from the young people. So they're not financially restricted by being able to come.
Sort of clarification, David. We can only propose up to the amount that they've actually asked for. So, do you want to revise the proposal?
Well, I propose we give them £200. We can't give it to
And if there's
No second.
so, before I take the second, are we?
You go in November, did you say?
I would go in April. It's about 4 weeks.
So I would say, could you apply again before you went, but there was no time to...
No, I'm very new to this whole process, so I've not really asked for money before, so sorry it's been a bit of a faff.
Okay.
You don't have to apologise.
Before I take the second, is there any more discussion on this item?
If you have any more questions, feel free to.
Councillor Scott?
I just second Dave's proposal.
Okay. so proposal for £200 and seconded. Show of hands. Congratulations. Next item is to consider a grant request from Dinnington Town Council Junior Football Club under 14s. Do we have any representation? No. Right, so it's for members to make a decision. You've got... well, it's not a case of what is normally given. It's not... It's a grant, so it's what they've asked for, essentially.
I'll propose we go into the report.
Okay, before I take any second, more discussion?
Yeah, can I just, is this the only one that comes from there? Is there a senior team or? Yeah, I mean,
There was a senior team over the year, I believe. I think it was over 35s at the start of the season. Beyond that, I don't know.
I think if there's more than one team playing there, we're going to get a request, we're going to have to take that.
I think that, I mean, you may be able to clarify, but they run as different business groups.
Right. There's about 6, there'll be about 6 coming. And we used to give them a set amount. And then every time the teams come, we used to give them the same amount. Because there's about 6 teams, this is under, what is it? Under 15s, there's under 9s, under 10s, and they're all
We can't afford, we
So,
can't afford that much for every team.
you know, it's just that, you know, they come for nets and things like this. So we used to do about £100.
I would draw that out.
Well, it says purchase of a full-size goal net is £80.
I would draw that.
So you know you could do that, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, but once we set the precedents, we said that's why we set a set amount, because every time we come there, unless it was circumstances that they were in trouble.
Is it possible that we could speak to them as a group entity and say, you come to us for Dinnington Town football for some money, and then they can subdivide it how they want?
They all work as separate businesses, they all have separate accounts.
Right.
They all have separate accounts, every team, under 9s, under 10s, under 15s, they all have separate accounts. So it's all work separately.
Well, based on that,
And probably give £50 and then all the others probably give £100.
But they're actually asking for 3 different prices here. You've got football train 120, then 40 and 80 nets.
yeah. Pick.
I propose £100, Chair.
Well, we've had one proposal first for £50. Does anyone want to discuss it further before we go to the voting stage? So, taking the first proposal, we have a second for £50. No? Graham's proposal? For £100? And seconded. Any amendments
There's
to...
no bank statement, is there?
Sorry?
No bank statement.
We do have all that, I think we've read it so much, maybe we would have killed it.
I'm just saying that we haven't seen a bank statement for this.
Well, finance officer's in receipt of the bank statement.
Yes.
And is it?
It was about...
No, I'm just saying, we've just said this was in the car, and then you're going to get one through.
It's about
with
30
bank
pages, I
statement.
think.
Says we've got energy balance of 246.15.
That's the thing about, yeah.
But what I'm saying is there's no bank statement. is there?
No, yeah.
So we've got a full set of accounts. So, proposal for £100 has been seconded. Show of hands for that. Thank you. Next item. Right. Yeah. I'm just going to take 2 minutes for one of the members to come to break. back to order, please. Will the public please be seated for the meeting to start? Right, I'll move on to item 15, which is general matters. First item is the running file, which is a verbal of where we are with the items that are still open. Issue 2 is still open at the moment, which was the new board being fitted to Falcon Square. That has now been fitted. I hope members have seen it. And just want a show of hands to close that item. Thank you. Issue 5 is still open, which is the Freedom of Information request about Birkdale, and it is still ongoing. I don't think we've got much.
No, you saw the response that was going to the General Regulatory Council. I don't expect an answer back from that for a few weeks yet, so that will be rumbling on for a little while.
And the only other one that is still open is issue 10, which is the DFIBs. We've made a decision about where we're going to sign the one lyric, and we'll just bring the clerk in for information about where we are with the other one.
Yeah, the other one, as you recall, is due to be fitted at the Salvation Army. It's not there yet, primarily because as we are putting something on the outside of their building, there needs to be a legal agreement with the Salvation Army to do that. It's just a formal process. I have chased the Salvation Army on several occasions to get that agreement, and as has Les Clark from the Salvation Army side, so we're sort of doing a two-pronged attack. Unfortunately, their legal department appears to be swamped at the moment, and that issue not a bit of paper. As soon as it is in place, it will be, because of course at the moment the use of the setup space waiting installation, but we are doing what we can. Les and I are liaising to try and hurry things along.
Does anybody have any comments about any of those items? No. Right, item B is Borough Councillors' reports. Have we received any reports from Borough Councillors?
I was promised an email off one, but it never arrived. The others, of course, are not here tonight.
I think that says it all, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't even be bothered. What I asked last time were that Borough Councillors give us a report on what we do during the month. You know, bear in mind we pay over £12,000 a year, and they can't even be bothered to do that. So I think you study all about how much our Borough Councillors care about people in Dinnington.
Well, we can't do any more than
No,
that.
I
think we actually had 2 verbal confirmations of people actually in the meeting. Okay. Any comments? I don't think there's much we can say.
I think we should have that register might discuss the lack of attention to what we're requesting.
Approximately no. Item C, to discuss what Dinnington St John's Town Council provide for the people of Dinnington. Councillor Smith.
Yeah, I mean, we don't actually seem to do anything as far as people in Dinnington are concerned. And I've had a look at some of the stuff that National Association of Local Councils say that what good councils should do, such as teenagers dropping, summer festival, equipment for children's activity, transport hospital. There are all sorts of things that could be happening. I mean, this lyric, it should actually be the focus in Dinnington. It could be this should be our village hall, because we don't have a village hall. So Dinnington, this should be it. And I don't, we don't have clubs for older people. We could open this up once a month for even, I know this may sound stupid, but sort of tea dance or something like that for older people or for longer people. We don't do anything. I can't find anything. We don't run any clubs. We give grants out to other people to do work, but we as a council don't seem to do anything. So, you know, that's the point.
But we've never stifled anyone, be it charities or organisations, to use this, and we do try to promote data use far more. I don't think we're an organisation that can actually run clubs, but we can help to promote people that wish to run clubs and help them, which I think we do. It's unfortunate that people don't seem to want to volunteer as much now, be it children or even elderly.
But we don't put everything in their way, do we? I mean, I think there's a telling sentence from the National Association. It says, of course your council could always decide to do very little, but local residents might then wonder why the local council exists at all. And I think that's a fair question. I mean, you know, we do the Christmas lights, and apart from that, we don't do anything.
So, to help charities use
I'm not talking about charities, I'm talking about we as a council actually doing something, like organising, you know, an afternoon tea for older people. We're surrounded by bungalows for older people, we're surrounded by older people, we're surrounded by lots of people that are probably lonely, that they've got nowhere to go. There's nothing that we provide in Dinnington at all. We don't do anything at all.
Well, Chair,
yeah.
I've run a centre for the Tara 9 years, 10 years. And to get people around Highnock alone to come and join this Tara, it's impossible. Nobody wants to get involved. Last week we had a meeting, and we asked some of the people in the estate, would you come and help us to do a Easter Bunny parade on the Highnock Park? We've had 2 ladies from Highnock just to come and take the leaflets out for us to say we're going to have a fancy dress for the Bunny parade. And we can't get anybody whatsoever to come and help us on that Tara. So now there's just 4 people left on it. When we first started, we were 11. And it's not lack of trying, David. It's people who don't want to get out there and come and help us. Sorry, so our Tara is open. Pauline Davis was on it as well. Mine and I still on it, but we can't get help. So nobody's interested, Chair. So,
but what we've done is, what we're not doing, we're not doing anything to try to foster a community in Dinnington.
We do things that we tend to do our own thing. We tend to do our own help in the community. Like Friends Davis Court, the Whitfield Players, that type of thing. We're all involved in other little things, but we don't do it as a group. That's what you
We're not
see.
as a council.
No, we don't do it as a group.
No, that's the point.
it's just getting people involved, David.
Yeah, but if we as a council are doing it as a group of people, then all of us together can get things off the ground, can't we?
I've tried.
If we all did it as if it were a council sponsored thing, a council run thing, it's got, you know, we're all involved in different areas of Dinnington. So, you know, if we had a central thing, say that we were going to use this once a month for older people and lonely people to actually come and be able to do whatever they want to do, have cups of tea, biscuits, whatever, I don't know. But at least if we did something as a council, that we were showing Dinnington that we cared about Dinnington, and that we want to bring it back and get it as a community again.
When you did those councils, you have any idea of who support you?
Will you get all the councils to come in and help?
Well, if we don't get all council, I know,
Christmas lights and festival there. We used to have about 7 on that committee.
Yeah.
We ended up this year with 3.
Can I just bring Councillor Davis in?
Right, somewhere we've got some bowling mats.
Yeah.
And bowls.
Yeah, that's our suggestion.
We need them back.
You don't have the resources.
We've got quite a few come in for the draw. Now that could be started up again.
Because I've been asked about that.
Can I make a suggestion? That we form a working group
Social.
outside the formal meeting, because obviously the meeting's valuable, and we can not just a working group. Well, indeed, and basically we can get together and we can invite members of the public onto it, and we can come up with some ideas and see how we can take it forward. It's not that we've never said that we won't back people, it's just actually getting the ideas formulated.
Well, if we get these bowling things back from the source centre, I would come along with that.
Well, again, that's... Yeah.
Depends on where they want it.
Has that been on about before?
And rather than discuss it at this... Yeah. Rather than discuss it at this time, if we take it to a working group where we can look forward to what we can do, the issue about the mats is where you're going to put them.
Yeah. They're not. They're stored at the back in one of them huts. Bowling clubs got them. So I don't know what condition they'll be in. They might be all right.
Forgive me. I've took us off back down a tangent where essentially if we can vote to form a working group and invite members of the public as well, we'll see where we can go from it. Councillor Smith? Show of hands?
Yes.
Well, show of hands, yeah. What we should have to do is any interested parties, if they give their email addresses to the clerk, not necessarily now, but if you can email it in via the website, and then we'll, once we've got enough together, we'll let everyone know when we can have a meeting. Is that okay with everyone? Right, the next item before we go to the closed session is just to agree next meeting. The next full meeting will be the annual parish meeting, and everyone I'm sure knows how that works. That will be the 13th of April at 7 o'clock at Davis Court. And we've agreed to have the finance meeting at Middleton Hall on the 13th of April at 2 p.m. Okay. So that's all the business now concluded that's an open session. So I would like to ask the public if they'll leave now so we can discuss the last item of the closed session. Thank you very much for your attendance.